Hello again. I want to wish you all a Happy New Year. This is a painting I did back in December of 2019, so more than a year ago. I thought you might enjoy seeing how I was doing my paintings back then. I know it wasn't that long ago, but my process has changed. If you have seen my recent videos, you'll notice that I'm not using a turpentine wash to start this painting. I hope you enjoy.
Well, hello. I'm out on the trail again. We've had a lot of rain this December here in the Pacific Northwest. We had something called an atmospheric river just dumping inches and inches of rain for days on us here near Seattle. Well, I'm finally back out on the trail, finally a little break in the rain. I was hoping for some snow up here in the mountains, but nothing yet. Just a few flakes falling here and there. It's supposed to get cold, and hopefully I'll be able to get some paintings in the snow here before long. But today I'm going to paint here along the river, and I found a pretty little tree. I'll show you. I'm going to paint this scene. I'm going to paint that pine tree growing on that fallen log. It's got kind of a holiday feel, so that'll be kind of fun. And I always love painting water, so I'll paint the river rushing under that fallen log and all the moss and the rocks, the studying green and brown. Alright, I'm getting set up. I'm going to paint on an 8x10 panel today. Keep it kind of small since it's the day after the winter solstice, so the days are really short here in the Pacific Northwest. So something short and sweet today. Alright, I'm getting set up. I took a pencil and did a quick sketch of the scene, changed the layout just a little bit to what I think is a more interesting composition for the oil painting. So I moved the river up higher in the background and dropped the tree a little bit lower so it should stand out more. Something interesting happened. As I was sketching, it started to sprinkle a little rain and the panel got a little wet. So when I went to erase some of the lines, it blurred really nicely. The graphite pencil blurred. So it made kind of a charcoal effect. I'm going to paint right over the top of that. Kind of a happy accident, I hope.
I have my standard colors laid out now, as I've gone through in other videos. Now I'm quickly mixing up the darkest darks. I hold my palette knife out against the scene and try to match it as closely as I can. I try to compensate based on how dark the scene is. If the scene is kind of dark like this one, where there's not much light on my palette knife, I'll try to compensate a little bit by going a little bit lighter in value than I normally would. I paint from the background to the foreground and from the darkest value to the lightest value. I mix the colors on the flat palette in front of me and then transfer them to this handheld palette. I like having that extra handheld palette. It gives me more space to mix. There's a lot of glare, so it's hard to see, but what I'm doing here is painting the darkest darks in the background. The darkest darks are those big trees, which compared to the foreground are not that dark, so I'm quickly laying those in. If you've watched some of my recent videos, you know that for the last year or so I've been starting my paintings with a turpentine wash. This helps me to quickly set up a value pattern and establish a color harmony. I really enjoy it. This painting I did back in December 2019, I started with a more detailed pencil sketch to establish the value pattern. I have the background sky and the trees completed now. I'm going to take this large, soft mop brush and blend everything, give it a nice softness that pushes it back. I've mixed up more vibrant colors now for the log and the river. And as I come forward, my shadows will get darker, my lights will get brighter, my colors will become more saturated. That really gives a nice feeling of depth, those soft edges, those light values, and lower contrast in the background trees and in the background itself really push it back. The more vibrant colors in the foreground bring the foreground forward. It's a nice way to create that illusion of depth. As I paint the darkest darks in the foreground, I'm leaving the lightest lights unpainted. I'll leave the white of the panel showing until the last and paint the lightest lights last. That way the color will go down clean and unmuddied. Now it's time to paint the center of interest, that beautiful pine tree growing on the fallen log. That little pine tree is a symbol of resilience to me. It's growing in such a precarious and unlikely spot, and it looks like it's just glowing with health, thriving. It's kind of a metaphor for me for this last year, 2020. I hope all of you made it through happy and healthy, even though maybe not in the position you thought you would be in, but still thriving. I hope 2021 is a great year for all of us. I wish you a happy new year, and thank you so much for supporting me in the past. I hope you continue to watch my videos.
I had a good day out here by the river. Spent about 3 hours here. As you'd expect, in late December it's cold, so definitely want to head back to the truck and get warmed up. But beautiful day. Loved standing beside the river and listening to it, taking in the scene. Let me show you what I got. Here's the finished painting. Tree's a little rough. I didn't want to get too detailed. I didn't want to try to paint every branch or every needle for sure. I just wanted to suggest it. I think it's a little too rough. I want to take that back and play with it, but otherwise I like it. I like the effect of the rapids here. Thought that came out nice, and I like the distance back into the scene as the river turns the bend. Definitely a nice day. As always, thanks for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And I hope you have happy holidays.